Yeah.
Okay. Namaste, Sunita ji.
Namaste.
Namaste. What a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, so I muted all of you. We'll start with a short prayer, Prarthana. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarvebhyaha Namaskaraha.
Namaskar.
So sorry for the last minute glitch here, and I was telling everybody just a few minutes ago that I was teaching on this online platform for about a year now, and this is the first time we've had this the wrong ID problem, and so I may invite everybody once again for another meeting at a different time, but we'll be happy to have this session here right now. So what I do, I'll first introduce myself for those who don't know about me. So my name is Jayakumar. Father's first name is Srinivasan. I grew up in or at least my grandparents lived in a small village called Ammangudi, about 20 kilometers from the temple town of Kumbakonam, which is in Tamil Nadu. And but I didn't live there at all. I was born in Kumbakonam, but quickly my parents moved to Hyderabad. So I grew up in Hyderabad. That's where I studied. Then I did my college in Chennai. I studied at IIT. And then in '85, I wanted to do some research. So to do that, I went to the US to do my master's and PhD. I'm a chemical engineer by training. And so I did that, completed my PhD, and worked for a large chemical company for about 20 years. And so along the time, about 20 years ago, I'm going to mute all of you. Okay. So about 20 years ago, I happened to attend a talk by Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji, and in the US, and so I started getting very interested in Vedanta after that, and deeply interested to a point where almost every day I used to be listening to his talks. In those days, no MP3 and all that. I bought loads and loads of cassettes, audio cassettes of his talks on Upanishads, Gita, etc. And so I used to be listening to that. So my interest built up, and then I moved to the city of Houston in the US, and then there I started teaching Sanskritam. I started teaching children about our culture. Then started having Bhagavad Gita classes, group classes, where we were all studying together. And so this went on for a while, and those classes grew quite a bit. Swamiji also visited Houston in 2006, and so it was a big boost for all of us. And long story short, in 2015, I decided that was enough for me, and I returned here, and then attended the long-term Vedanta course that was going on in Coimbatore. So I live in the city of Coimbatore now, and so Swamiji's ashram is here in the outskirts of the city, and so I had a chance to stay in the ashram, live in the ashram, study that course, and then for the last 1 year, since I graduated, Swamiji asked me to start teaching, and so then you started using this online platform, and so that's how it started. And so I'm teaching a Vedanta course, I'm teaching a chanting course, I'm teaching a course for college students, So like this, I'm teaching Veda Parayanam, Vedic chanting also. And then my students who were attending this basic Sanskrit course for the last 1 year, so they took the Samskrita Bharati exam a month ago, couple of months ago, and they passed it. And so they were saying that perhaps all the lessons that were prepared for that class could be used again for others who are interested. So that's how the idea for this class came. And so when we made the announcement, we got a lot of registrations, and so we broke up the number of students into so many sessions. So this is the third session, that orientation session that I'm conducting. So this course is a basic Sanskritam course. And in 2003 or 4, I came across a course. There was a course announcement saying, learn to speak Sanskritam in 1 week. And I said, I was a bit amazed at this announcement. I said, first of all, I didn't know that Sanskritam could be spoken. Number one. Number two, learn to speak in 1 week. Ye kya baat hai? This is something I had not heard about. So I said, okay, let's see what happens. So I used to I returned from work, and then quickly made some dinner and went to the class, 7 to 8:30 or something, 7:30 to 9, 1 hour, 1.5 hours every day for 7 days. And sure enough, at the end of the week, we were all able to converse in simple Sanskritam, ask some basic questions, speak, answer, say some simple stories like the story of the crow that drank water from the pot. And so these stories and all we used to do. So we got very excited. I got very inspired, and that's when I actually started conducting Sanskrit classes, because I wanted to learn this even better. And so there used to be about 6-7 friends visiting my home at that time, and so that's how this journey started. And so I modeled this series of classes in the same way. So this will be I've been teaching using Sanskritam conversation, and that is the medium through which I taught, and all students also learn to speak that way. And there's a particular technique we use, and so that in the entire class, everybody speaks in Sanskritam only. We don't speak in Hindi or English or anything like that. So some of you who have attended Samskrita Bharati programs, etc., may be aware of it, but that's how this works. But of course, you're not judged by the way you speak. The homework assignments are there, and they're all written assignments, and I've designed it in such a way that it's like a college course. If I were to teach this course in a university, in PSG Tech, for example, here, how would I teach it? So that's the way I asked myself. So then clearly the class, there must be some proper content. There must be some regularity. And so there are weekly classes. And then there must be some homework assignments. So I spent a lot of time designing homeworks for every class. So just before you all joined, I was talking to Sangeeta ji. I used to spend not only a couple of hours preparing for these classes, but also after the class, I had to spend sometimes 2 hours, even 3 hours creating the homeworks. And there are books, etc., that I will talk to you about. And so it has come to a point where the course can be taken and one can gain competency in the language, and one can gain that love for the language, and gain the confidence to say, yeah, I'm ready to go to the next stage. So like that is the way I have designed it. And some of my students actually, unknown to me, they were watching these videos and doing the homeworks. And they also finished that entire course. They also wrote those Samskrita Bharati, that exam called Pravesha, and they passed. And so in fact, there is Sangeeta ji, who is in the process of taking the course, and she's calling in from Delhi, New Delhi. And Charvi from Mumbai has done it. She's written the exam, and I've invited her to come attend the session to share her experience. But I'm checking to see if there anybody who sent any messages. So the class will basically involve, every week you will be watching a video of a class that was already conducted, and then we'll do the homework, where you will write it, and you will send a picture of that, send a scan of that homework. Very beautiful system is available called Google Classroom, which enables you to upload it, which enables me to look at it, and I can grade the assignment right on my computer by using my finger, and then I can return it to you and you will get it back. You'll get an email saying your assignment has been graded. It's a wonderful system that I'm so happy with, and all my past students have benefited from that. So some of you may have heard about this Google Classroom. So that's the process we will be using. And then there will be tutorial sessions. So you'll watch the video and do the homework, but then there will be because that watching the video is not live, so to speak, there will be a live tutorial session after after a week or week and a half, whatever, we will decide all the timings, where you can actually get a chance to practice what was taught in the class in that video, and which will help you do the homework. And initially you may not need that many tutorial sessions, but I'm thinking we should have some sessions so you can get a good feel of the language, and you can get some practice to speak it. Sanskritam sambhashanam kartum sarvebhyah avakashah, chance, opportunity datum. This tutorial session is there. And so I'll show you some of the books, etc. now, but I'm going to pause now. I'm going to pause and unmute all of you, and then see if you have any questions or thoughts. First of all, can you all hear me properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when everybody says yes, I'm happy, because that's the main thing in these online systems. Even if we are not able to see each other, at least if you have heard it, that's an important thing. So we will shortly introduce ourselves also. But let's first see if there are any questions. Nand Bhanwar, you raised your hand.
I would like to record it, but it says that I need a permission from the host.
Okay.
How can I record it?
So I'm actually recording this session, and we will post it.
Okay, so you will.
Yeah, we will post it on YouTube, and we'll send you an email with the link. So.
Okay, sir. That would be great help.
You don't have to spend the time recording it. But typically, all the classes are recorded for everybody's benefit, especially for the benefit of those who were absent in the class. Because occasionally it will happen that not everybody can attend a particular class at a particular time, and so the videos are all available, including the video of this session. And so let's do this. Let's go around the room here, and let's start with Sheila Joshi, and tell us where you're from, why are you inspired to attend this class, Any thoughts? What do you do? You have a family. I'm single. I'm 54 years old. So you can share anything you want about your life. And this is a class where we all need to know each other, even though it's online, even though we are all living, worlds apart. It doesn't mean we should not, know each other well and bond with each other. So please share what you want to share.
So, hello everyone, I'm Sheila and I live in Singapore. My family consists of my husband and I have two children, and of course, parents from both the
So
sides.
one minute,
And,
Shilaji. We are not. I'm not able. Your voice is a little feeble. I can hear you, but it's a bit feeble.
okay,
Can you come
sorry.
near the mic or something like that?
Yes. Is it better now?
Yeah, it is a
Better?
tad better. It's a tad better. Yeah.
Okay. So, I live in Singapore and my family consists of my husband and my two children. I have a son and a daughter. And my I'm basically from Gujarat, but married into a Punjabi family. So my home right now is in Delhi, but we live in Singapore. And I was interested in learning Sanskrit ever since I was a child because I grew up and did my schooling in Kuwait. I didn't have access to any of this language or any teachers or so, but I was very, very interested in learning this language. So I took Hindi, so that just in case when I grow up, or if I want to learn this language, I at least have some basic knowledge. And I'm so glad I took Hindi instead of taking French or any other language. So it comes handy now. Plus, I've been learning Vedanta from one of Swamiji's student. I'm sure you would know her, Nilofer ji.
Yeah.
So she visits Singapore, and we've been learning Vedanta from her for a very long time. And I just thought, to understand and appreciate the text more, it would be lovely to learn the language. And so that's why I'm here.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Where is Nilofarji now?
So she's basically based out of Pune, but she conducts classes all over Bombay, Pune, and even internationally. Like, she travels a lot extensively to, Australia and also Spain. She goes over there quite often, and Singapore definitely she comes. And she's also started online classes and stuff like that. So it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know she used to travel, and
Yeah.
I don't know of her that well, but yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
That's
she
good.
mentioned to us about the school and all that stuff. So that's how I've been following uh, the Arsha Vidyalaya and all. And that's how I got the information also. So I'm so happy to be here.
Very nice. Very nice. So thanks for joining,
Yeah.
Sheila Joshi. So Nand Bhanwar.
Yes, sir. So my name is Nandbamar Singh Kanawat. I am from Rajasthan, but currently I'm working in AIMS New Delhi as a nursing officer. So I'm fond of learning new things, and I want to learn as many languages as I can. And I'm fond of reading as well. But there is a problem in reading, that when I try to read a translated version of any book or anything else, it just loses its meaning. I have tried it in English literature. When I try to read any English book in Hindi, translated Hindi version,
Nand,
uh,
I'm going to mute all of you. There is some noise coming. So now go ahead and unmute yourself, Nand. Uh,
yeah, am I audible now?
yeah, you are very audible. That's fine now. This should be.
Okay, so I have read a lot of Hindi books, and when I read their English translated version, they kind of lose their actual meaning or a theme. Similar happens with English literature or English book. When I try to read their translated versions, it loses its actual meaning. So when I started learning Sanskrit or reading Sanskrit books or literatures, like I have read Sanskrit or I have learned Sanskrit
Yeah.
in my schooling as well, from class 6 to class 10, but that was a long ago and I have lost touch. and everything. So it's kind of like blurred in my mind. So I started learning it again, but I faced some difficulties because I can't read it as I used to read in classes, and that was simple language. And when I try to go and read these Upanishads or Vedas, these are kind of difficult because uh, I can't make out the actual meanings. That's why wanted to learn in Sanskrit so hard, and I'm kind of interested in learning about India in its native languages. And Sanskrit is the most native language in India, and many ancient literatures and Puranas, Vedas, everything is in Sanskrit translated version. That doesn't make sense.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, so true, and amazed at your desire to learn many languages. And
Yeah. So I have learned Gujarati, I have learned Punjabi, Haryanvi, Sanskrit, English. I have learned a little bit French. I am trying to learn Mandarin as well.
oh, Mandarin also. Acha,
Yes.
acha. I see. So, do you travel to China or something like that, or?
No. I plan to go UK or Canada as I have been selected as a registered nurse in Canada and UK, both countries, but my parents denied. So I joined in AIMS New Delhi only, and now I have thought that I won't be leaving India, so it's better to learn languages here only.
Very nice, very nice. Delighted. Thanks for joining, Nand. All the best, and
Thank you, sir.
we will see. I hope you will benefit from these classes. Yeah.
Definitely, sir. I'll give my best.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sunita ji, namaste once again, and so nice to see you. What I will do is I will unmute yourself. 1 minute. Unmute audio. Okay, now you can speak.
Namaste, Jay Kumarji. Namaste to everyone. I'm Sunita Shantaram from Coimbatore. I've been associated with Puja Swamiji for many, many years. I think ever since Puja Swamiji came to Coimbatore and the ashram was started, and I have been a student of Vedanta, studying from Puja Swamiji and from the various acharyas who have been teaching. I have attended many of the Sanskrit classes conducted at the Gurukulam, but then I have never been consistent. I don't know if it was the age or what. So now I'm making another attempt, Jay Kumarji. I want to learn the language to be able to study Bhashya on my own. This is the only ambition. I'm not interested in talking or anything. I want to read and learn the Bhashya for myself.
Correct.
Yes.
Absolutely. Very true. And Sunita ji has attended a lot of Vedanta classes. In fact, probably a lot more than I have done. And she's been with Swamiji for 30 years. She's a big supporter of the Ashavidya Gurukulam here in Coimbatore. And in fact, in the 3-year course, I remember I used to see her in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya classes also. I think you were attending. And
oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it is lovely to be attending all the classes and following the Bhashya when somebody is teaching. But then I'm not able to study it on my own. My ambition is to study with a little bit of grammar. I want to study the Bhashya on my own.
Correct.
Age is catching up. Yeah.
Correct.
And God willing, I'll be able to learn something.
Yeah, so we all pray that our desires are fulfilled, and especially studying Sanskrit, it's a noble desire. And one of the reasons for my teaching these classes is not necessarily to speak Sanskritam. Okay, speaking Sanskritam is not the goal, not my goal anyway. learning, what happens is I found that when I was speaking in Sanskritam, then I came to start love this language, and I was able to, the sentences started speaking to me. When I read a sentence like Shankara Bhashyam, then what will happen is I can immediately identify where the verb is and what is the subject, how many adjectives are there. Immediately they all just come out. So it helped me connect with the language better, so I can read Shankara Bhashyam better. Okay. And yes, I mean, I very much understand your the challenges you're facing. That is, and hope that with a course like this, we can study our Shastram. And many of you in your registration forms have written, I want to study the Upanishads, I want to study the Bhagavad Gita, etc. So our prayer, Sankalpa, is that. And so I don't want anybody to think that through this course, we all will become experts in speaking Sanskritam. I would love all of us to become experts, but that's not the goal per se. Through this talking, we want to really study. We want to understand our culture better. And we got colonized. And now because of that, we have gotten uprooted from our culture. And we need to regain that glory back. And we can do that only if we know what our culture is, correct?
Thank you, Jay Kumarji.
Nice to see you, Sunita ji. Namaste once again.
Namaste. Thank you.
Okay, so next, let's see. So the many people, Hawaii, OnePlus, etc. Go ahead and turn on your videos. So we'd like to see you. As I was telling earlier, let this class, even though we are all calling from different places, I want each of us to know each other well, and feel comfortable as though we are meeting in a classroom in Chennai or Delhi or Bombay or Coimbatore or wherever, or in an ashram. So please turn on your videos. If you don't turn on, it turns me off. Okay. So please turn your videos on, unless you're I mean, you're not supposed to do anything. In our classes, we have an unsaid rule, which is your video must be on, and you can't be cutting vegetables, and you can't be munching cookies and this kind of stuff, and coffee and all that. And finish your breakfast and attend the class, or attend the class and have your breakfast. So that's those are some of the rules we follow. And so I'm happy to see all of you. And Srinidhi, we can't see you. Okay. Namaste. Okay. So let's hear from Mr. Narayananji. Namaste.
Hello.
Yeah, so Namaste, we can hear you. We are beginning to hear you.
Yeah, today only I am beginning. So actually, I am from Chennai, but currently I am in Seattle. I have come here on a short trip. So I saw your course beginning. So I thought after retirement, I want to learn Sanskrit just to know our cultural value. Though I repeat so many slogas and all those things, but without knowing the real meaning of it. So I thought this may be an opportunity for me to spend some my retired time by learning the language, so that whatever we utter with more meaning. This is my main intention. As you said, I am not very keen to speak Sanskrit, but to understand the language. My intention to join this.
Very nice, very nice. Delighted to have you. And having gone to the US, you're still registered for the course and so forth. I appreciate that. And so I think your idea is interesting. Retired from profession, but not retired from learning. And
Yeah, learning is no end to that. That's the thing. So instead of studying a foreign language, our own language during our my service time, I didn't have a time to spare for that.
very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling in, and we will uh, hope this course will help you. And these videos are available offline also. So
Okay.
I think all of us should be able to benefit from that.
Okay. Thank you.
So let's okay. Let's hear from Srinidhi.
Hello, everybody. My name is Srinidhi. I'm from Coimbatore. Currently, I'm working in Bangalore. So, since I was very young, my parents and my grandparents used to teach me Lingashtagam, Annapurnashtagam, and so many other slogans which I have learnt by heart, but I have never understood the meaning. So I used to wonder what the meaning of all that what I'm saying is, and especially when I had started taking additional languages like German, French, and all that, and I'm learning other languages, but my school did not offer Sanskrit. Unfortunately, I did not have the opportunity. Especially when I came to my undergrad course in Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, we had a course called Cultural Education where they told about the beauty of our culture and how beautiful a language Sanskrit is. I began to realize more and more that I've been learning the language of many other countries and my own country's language. I have not had the opportunity to learn. So since then, I have been really wanting to learn Sanskrit. And when I saw this, I really wanted to enroll and I wanted to learn and hence understand the meaning of all the beautiful sayings in our scriptures and all the slogans that we have and appreciate our culture even more. Because I feel that we can fully appreciate a culture only when we are learning all these languages which are a part of the culture. So that is my intent towards learning Sanskrit.
Very nice, very nice. So yeah, Amrita, I think they do a very good job teaching about our culture. Good school to go. And was it college or school? Did you say?
I did my undergraduate in Amrita, my college.
In Coimbatore.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in Coimbatore.
Very nice. So yeah, sure. I think it would be nice to know the shlokas that we chant. What does it mean and things like that. And so hopefully this course will take you in that journey and fulfill your dreams.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's see who else is there. So so one of you have called Huawei P20 Lite. So can you introduce yourself, ma'am? Pagani? Yeah. You are on a phone called Huawei P20 Lite, and we don't know what your name is. And can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself? Can you hear us? Yeah, okay, now we can hear you. Well, now we can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Beena Nair. I live in Thane, which is in Maharashtra. Yeah, so I've been meaning to learn Sanskrit since my early days. In my school, they offered Sanskrit for 7th, 8th, and 9th. That just whetted my appetite. I could not learn more. So I've been learning, I've been trying to learn, but unfortunately, no such opportunity came my way. So this time I decided that I'll just go down to it and learn it. I'm very interested in Vedanta. I would like to, as my other participants were saying, so I would like to learn about Vedanta and in the language that it has been written. So that is my purpose of learning Sanskrit. And I love the language.
So your exposure to Sanskritam
was in school. Right from childhood, I've been learning, as Srinidhi was saying, I have been learning shlokas, which just as she said, I don't know the meanings of that shlokas that I've been learning. My parents have been teaching me. But then in school, I learned Sanskritam in 7th, 8th, and 9th. The school was offering the language, but that was just basic and I could not carry it forward. So I wanted to learn it properly this time.
Sure, sure. Very nice to have
Yeah.
you. And,
Yeah. Thank you.
and so your name was Veena Nair, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So we missed that part initially. But,
Okay. Okay.
very nice. So you live in Thane?
Yeah.
Good, good. Okay. Thanks for joining. And
Thank you.
so hopefully we'll try and make this course interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope so too.
Okay. So we have Sangeeta ji is there. I want to reserve you for the last because you've already been attending these classes. Let me quickly check. There is Sri Harsha. Can you turn on your video?
I am Sri Harsha. Namaste. Namaste, Guruji. I am Sri Harsha.
Is there any way you can turn on your video?
Yeah, just a minute.
Yes. Okay.
Am I visible, Guruji?
Yeah, you're visible and audible. Yes.
Yeah. So I am Sri Harsha. So I'm from Hyderabad. So I have an interest in Sanskrit in the sense that because Sanskrit mantras and all we learned during the Sandhya Vandanam and all, in that context I learned the Sanskrit slokas and all in the Sandhya Vandanam and all.
Yeah.
But now I want to understand a deeper meaning of the words, the etymology especially, the dhatus, the roots and all. So the understanding the scriptures like that. So that is the reason I am interested.
Sure. So this is a beginner's class. So generally in a beginner's course, we don't talk much about dhatus and things like that. And we talk about, kriya padam, verbs, and then, subantam, etc. That is nouns, adjectives, and forming sentences. So that becomes our primary. We will know the meanings, no doubt. But we generally won't go down to the level of dhatus. Okay.
Okay.
So I just want to caution you about that, which is that we will occasionally I may mention dhatu, etc. But not in the beginner's course. You won't get so much. But what you will get is the ability to, maybe if you read a story or if you read a news clip item in the Sanskrit newspaper, then you will begin to recognize some fragments and you begin to understand what it's saying. Maybe not completely, but you're in the journey to understand that. Okay. And
yes, fine, Guruji.
So I just wanted to remind you about that. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So dhatu and all, it's a bit deep, so a little more advanced. So in the second or third course is when we get into dhatus. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Nice to see you, Sri Harsha ji.
Yeah.
I grew up in Hyderabad, so for all practical purposes, Hyderabad is my quote unquote hometown, and all my classmates are all from Hyderabad from school days, and so, very nice to have you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Sheila, Nand, Sunita ji, Narayan ji, everybody has spoken. Okay, so a couple of folks are there here. We have Charvi Shah and Sangeeta Verma. Both of them have I've been studying those video courses, as I mentioned. So maybe if I can request Sangeeta ji to introduce herself. She's from Delhi, and short introduction about who she is and also how she's been, she got into this classroom today.
Namaste Jaykumarji and namaste everyone else. I've been a student of Vedanta for a few years, and from my Vedanta friends, I got to know about this course, and I requested Jaykumarji to allow me to watch his videos, and he sent me a link. So I've been watching his videos and studying on my own, and also submitting homework in the Google Classroom that he mentioned. And one of his students is also checking the homework and giving me the feedback on that. So, like I was telling him before, that I'm so interested in this thing and enjoying it so much that I have to remind myself to stop now, because I spend a lot of time watching the video and doing the homework. So I
What you
started
mean?
in, sorry?
What you mean is not stop but slow down is what you meant, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, slow down. On a day, on a particular day, I would tell myself, now, no more. Yeah. So,
Let me mute all of you. Okay, now go ahead and unmute yourself, Sangeeta ji.
so I started in March of this year.
Yeah.
And so I watch a class and then I submit the homework of that class. That's the format we follow. And also, Jakumarji has assigned me a person who, like Charviji, who I ask doubts often from. So I'll just, send her a message and call her up, and she helps me with whatever doubt I have. So I'm really looking forward to the tutorial classes that we will soon start.
Sure, sure. And thanks, Sangeeta ji. And one of the things I forgot to mention is that we will I will be assigning, since now that many students have offered to help, I'll be assigning somebody. One of my students will be assigned to you as a personal, tutor, coach, so that any doubts you have, you can call them or talk to them on WhatsApp, etc. And we'll also have some WhatsApp groups, or at least one group where we can discuss and share questions. And that was very, very useful for me also when I was teaching the class, to communicate to the students. And as and when they had doubts, they will ask me whether it is doubts about the homework or something else, etc. So we have all those systems in place. And now with a lot of my students helping me, I think it's they are offering their help also. So I think my feeling is that you will have the help you need. And one of the drawbacks of all these online courses is that there's a lot of material, video material, audio material out there, but there isn't guidance. And so hope we can provide you that guidance. And thanks, Sangeeta ji, for calling in. And
also, let me add, Jakumarji, in fact, I've tried a few times in my life to start learning. So I've, started to learn and then given up. So this is the first time when I've reached that far.
Very nice to hear that. And I've seen a lot of people also in my life. Many people have come and gone and dropped the ball, had difficulty. Everybody had that love to learn this language, Sanskritam, Deva Bhasha. But somehow or the other, I think Saraswati is, when it comes to Sanskritam, she's a bit jealous. And she's thinking, wait a minute, you are doing so many things, and you are decide me, you want to just once a month, you want to say hello to me? Sorry, I won't allow this kind of stuff to happen. And so she just walks away, I think. That's my theory. And so we need to give our respect to Saraswati. So I make sure I say namaste to Saraswati before I start this class. So thanks, Sangeeta ji. Charvi Shah calling from Mumbai. And she's a very, her experience was interesting to me because, and she will explain why that is.
Namaste, Kumarji.
Yeah, we
Namaste,
can.
everyone. Yeah. It's a pleasure to see all of you wanting to learn Sanskrit. A little introduction about myself. I was born in Surat. It's a town in Gujarat. I did most of my education in Surat, and then I did my architecture from Ahmedabad. Then I got married in Mumbai and have been here for about 16 years now, living with my husband and son. So I came to know about Sasyam in August 2018. And that was the same time when I had started studying my Shastras. And I was very happy because I really felt the need of learning Sanskrit along with the Shastras to enhance the Shastra study. Otherwise, I would have to depend a lot on the translations, which was not working that well. But unfortunately, the class time did not suit me. I had a lot of other commitments at that time. And also, when I came to know of Sasyam, they were done with about 24 to 25 classes. So, first I was a bit disheartened. Then a friend of mine who is a Sasyam student herself, she suggested that I at least have a look at the YouTube recording once. So that's how I first watched the YouTube video, and I really liked it. It was very interesting, and I just got hooked onto it. I started watching the classes, and I was learning a lot, even though I was not attending the classes live. I was really learning a lot. So I thought that this could be the perfect way for me to learn, and that's when I just spoke to Jay Kumar ji. I got access to the homeworks, to the notes, to the resource library, and the classes were really good. They're going at a very comfortable pace. It's like maybe one concept a class or one concept for two classes, and there is a lot of repetition of the concept. So it really stays in your mind. So every student comes up with a number of examples based on the concept. A number of sentences are made, and those sentences are also so interesting. The examples are so interesting, and as you must have already seen, like from Jacobaji's introduction only, that he comes up with so many things which are not like by the book studies. So it kind of stays in your memory. It's very interesting and very engaging. Plus there are a lot of other things along with the class, along with the regular topic, the concept. There are things like, so uh, there are songs, there are movie clips, there are conversations by kids in Sanskrit, there are documentaries by foreigners in Sanskrit, a lot of things making the class so very engaging. So actually in about 3 or 4 classes, I started phrasing simple uh, sentences in Sanskrit, and that was like, for me it was like I was very happy with it. But honestly, even though the classes were so engaging, so interesting, and I was really liking them, I would have still given up if it was not for the fantastic back-end support that we get at Sasyam. So it's either Jay Kumar ji or any of his students. They're always there to clear your doubts, to motivate you, to help you whenever you want. So the WhatsApp group that Jay Kumar ji was talking about, that is also very helpful. So even if you don't have a doubt, looking at the conversation of other people, the other people's doubts and all, you get so much more clarity on the study. And it really keeps you, the discussions keep you connected even though you are not attending the live classes. So I have never felt that I'm not a part of the group, even though I have probably never just attended 1 or 2 live classes. I've never felt that I'm not a part of the group. Also, there is a fantastic resource library that Jay Kumar ji provides us with. So I could start the study even before I got my books. So this resource library is the digital version of a lot of books that we would need, and a lot of books which are beside our homework scope also. Also, it has a lot of other stuff. It has class notes, it has a lot of references. So those things really help you get familiar with the language. There are commonly used verbs, nouns that help you start using the language in your daily conversation. So that definitely helped. Then I think the most important part comes, that is the homework. So there is usually one homework per session, and honestly, Jayakumarji works very hard in working out, in actually designing the homework for every session. So the homework really helped me in two ways. Firstly, the repetition of the concept and coming up with your own examples got me thinking in Sanskrit. That really helped me firstly retain the concept well, because there is a lot of repetition of that concept by making so many sentences in so many ways. So, and also it gave me so much more confidence, especially when I started making my own simple stories, or when I started breaking down shlokas, which were, before that I would just memorize the shloka without understanding them. Now I could actually break down a shloka and decipher it, what it actually meant. It was amazing. It was so fantastic. The entire meaning of the shloka changes once you start doing the anvaya, and when you start understanding every word of the shloka. So that was amazing. And the second way in which the homework helped was that it generated a lot of doubts. While you are doing the homework, you come up with so many doubts, and clarifying those doubts really clarified the concept. So initially, when Jayakumarji did not know that I was attending these classes, I would self-check my homework. That was also helpful. But once I started submitting my homework, I was amazed at the precision with which he would correct the homework and give it back. So there was so much learning from making those mistakes also. I'm really, really grateful. It worked out superb for me, very well. I could watch the class at my convenience. I was never worried about, in live classes, I'm always concerned that, okay, there are people walking behind me, or there is some noise coming, or it would disturb the others. There's nothing like that. I could do it at my own convenience. Also, I could pause the class at any time if I wanted to know a subject further. There are so many other resources that we are provided with, plus we are taught about dictionaries and other things. So I could find out so much more about a particular topic, or if while the class is going on, if I was mentally making my own examples, I could refer dictionaries, come up with my own sentences using new words, which made the study even more comprehensive. Also, when you're not a part of it, you can watch the other students' interaction way more objectively, and that worked very well for me. There was a lot of takeaway for me. So all in all, my experience was very good. I really learned a lot. I managed to give the Pravesha exam, and I'm so much more confident in Sanskrit now. I'm able to understand the Shastras so much better than I would have without Sanskrit. So this is my experience. But I would want to give a piece of advice to all of you. So Jay Kumarji is doing a great service through these classes. He's providing a fantastic base to all of us. But eventually, we have come here because we want to learn Sanskrit. And it will not be possible unless we are committed. So I would suggest all of you to keep a strict discipline. So if you have committed to watching one class per week and doing one homework per week, please stick to it. Because if once you don't do that, no, if you start pushing it, it will keep piling up, and that will be the start of the demotivation. So it is very important that you religiously follow the discipline. And like Sangeeta ji said, I'm sure all of you will experience this, because I myself experienced this. I was lagging by about 25 classes, and it was so interesting that I just didn't want to stop. There were times when I would do like 4 homeworks a week, which was a lot to do in a week, but I just didn't want to stop. It was so interesting. So just please follow your discipline, and all the best to all of you for your classes. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Charvi. In fact, I am learning a lot when you say all these things, because I really don't know that much about what all of you are going through, and and so when I hear you speaking, I'm also learning a lot. But yeah, I think I tell people that your greatest enemy is one thing, and that enemy is called tomorrow. Tomorrow. So if you say tomorrow, and then they say tomorrow doesn't come, tomorrow never comes, or something like that. So just be careful, and that can happen because we're all busy doing so many things. And so it's easy to say, I will watch the video tomorrow. And then it's easy to postpone it by another day. And nothing wrong in doing that. Sometimes you have to do it. But the minute you miss one homework and then you add one more to it, and then it becomes difficult to catch up. And I myself attend some offline, some videos, some courses. I'm attending a Panini grammar course, and that's offline. And because that comes on a Wednesday morning when I'm teaching another class, so I cannot attend the class at the same time. So what I do is I watch the video of the class 2 days later. I do that. And a couple of times I said I couldn't do it that week. And I had problems catching up. And I had a lot of problems. Just 2 classes, I had problem catching up. Because Panini grammar, very technical, and you have to remember a lot of things, a lot of logic and all that. And so for a while I was thinking I was about to lose it. But anyway, I think you all understand this. But I've kept it in such a way, I think it will be less intensive than a college course. Because in a college, I think we are supposed to teach three 50-minute classes, which means what? 2.5 hours, right? Is the teaching time. But here it's only 1.5 hours teaching time per week. So I think it should be less intensive than a college course. So anybody else, before we have some finishing thoughts, anybody else? Guruji, have we heard from you yet? Yeah, Rahul has not spoken. Correct. Go ahead, Rahul.
Hi, my name is Rahul Singh, and I am from basically from Bihar, but right now I'm staying in Calcutta and working as an IT consultant. So my interest in Sanskrit developed like 5-6 years back. I had Sanskrit till my class 8, but at that time I was not interested at all, and I was just studying it to pass the exams. But 5-6 years back, like just like every other what do you say, this I am a CBSE student, and I was become too liberal, too secular. So I started following videos of, like, I chanced upon a book called Breaking India by Rajiv Malhotra, where the very first chapter it was on the beauty of Sanskrit. From there I started developing interest in our culture, and like I have gone through a lot of his videos. And he had introduced Swami Dayanand Saraswati as well, so I had gone through the videos of him. A lot of videos I watch every week, and I have developed a, like I want to learn Sanskrit for this, but because I cannot read myself, so I have gone through a lot of translations. I have read a lot of translations from of the Upanishads from different Gurujis like Sri M and all. So but that is again that is not the same that feeling you get when you can do it yourself. So and I've started learning started learning Sanskrit 2-3 times, but I get demotivated and stop in between. So this is the time, and I am already taking shloka classes from Guruji, so that is very interesting. And so there only I got a chance to get this class, and I got this opportunity to learn Sanskrit this time. I didn't want to miss, so I have joined this, and I hope my idea is also to get to read at least one of the Upanishads by myself without any translations.
Thanks, Rahul. Thanks, Rahul, for joining. And yeah, Rajiv Malhotra has done great work. And 2011 is when I had invited him to Houston in US for a talk. And the title I asked him to talk about was Global Nexuses Undermining India. And it was a very controversial topic because, imagine that title is there, Forces Working Against India. So it's like, the title is like, either you have to love it or hate it, but you can't ignore that title. And he gave a fantastic talk, and I booked a Holiday Inn hotel room, and the hall was full, and the people were standing and listening to him. So yeah, he's done great work, and he continues to do that, and has written some good books. And I think one of the books he wrote is called The Battle for Sanskrit.
Yeah, I have gone through all his books almost.
Good. Yeah, welcome to Sasyam. Mr. Guru, are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am there. Actually, I have some video problem.
Okay.
It's only talk. So I'm Guru Dayal and from Uttar Pradesh. I just want Sanskrit because.
So we are not able to hear you that well. Can you come closer to the mic, please?
Okay. Now this is okay.
Yeah, a little better. Yes.
Yes. I am from Uttar Pradesh. So there is a district in between Varanasi and Allahabad. This is called Jaunpur district. I'm from there. So I developed. I learned Sanskrit from sources from Facebook, etc. To I liked some pages we taught Sanskrit. So I developed learning from there, and then and I got your notification from one of Sanskrit pages I follow that you starting this type of course. So I joined this.
Very nice. Thanks for joining, and we're also proud of Yogi Adityanath ji, and what a man, what courage he has, and this is the kind of person we needed for Uttar Pradesh, and very, very happy about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, Gurudev. And full name is Gurudev what?
Yeah, Gurudev Yadav.
Yeah. So quickly, anybody else who has not spoken? Yeah, I think everybody has spoken. So quickly, I'll go through some of the books here. So this is called Abhyasa Pustakam, and I will send you an email with all these links and how to get them, etc. But this is Samskrita Bharati's basic book, starting book called Abhyasa Pustakam. Okay, and it's a book which has all these pictures and fill up the blanks and things like that, and words for common things and so forth. Then similar but slightly different book called Bhasha Pravesha. So that also is by Sanskrita Bharati, and nice book, and I use exercises from this book. And Bhasha Pravesha has two parts. So this is the Ditiyaha Bhaga, second part of Bhasha Pravesha. And there is one book that I use a lot. It's called, there is an organization called Rashtriya Samskrit Samsthan. So if you Google that, you will find them. And they did an excellent job some maybe 15 years ago when the BJP government was there. Murali Manohar Joshi was the head of the Human Resources Department and so cabinet. And so he was the one who started this, and he published these books. And a series of about 5 books, I think, and fantastic books. I love them because they're thick books. This is a very thick book, and the beauty about this is a lot of pictures, and don't we love pictures when learning a language, right? So makes the understanding this language very easy, and so pictures and pictures and pictures, and so very nice book, and lot of good exercises here. So I would recommend, if you don't have it, to buy this series of books published by Rashtriya Samskrit Samsthan. And I think it says here, teach yourself Sanskrit on top. And Samskrita Swadhyayaha, that is teach yourself Sanskrit. And this is Prathama Diksha. And that Prathama Diksha, I suppose it means first lesson or first section, first part, etc. And so very good set of books to have. And the name of this particular part is called Vakya Vyavahara. And so, for example, the Dvitiya Diksha is like this, and the first part of the Dvitiya Diksha is called Vyavahara Deepaha. They're just giving a name for every book, and you can order these books. Again, this is also called Vyavahara Deepaha. Dvitiya Diksha, Dvitiyaha Bhaga. So I suppose section 2, part 2 or something like that. So this second section has 2 parts. But I'll send you some information about how to order these books, etc. And I always like to have these books because, however many PDF files you have, sometimes you just need a book in front of you. And you can feel Saraswati right there. And you pray, and then it comes to you. And so I will send you more information about these books also. And trying to think what else is there. And what I'm going to do is, because we started this class late, many people would have left. And for that reason, I may send an email, and my email will invite those other people for another session, either tonight or tomorrow morning. I have 2 more sessions that I will be doing. And so if any of you have missed the early portion of this session, you are welcome to join another session. Okay. And so having said all of that, I want all of you to be confident that we are here to help you. Let me give you my telephone number, 89033 89033 02805 02805. So 89033 02805. So anytime there is something, an issue you're facing, etc., you're welcome to call me, talk to me, etc. And so feel free to do that. And so I live here in Coimbatore, and some of my students have actually visited Coimbatore, and we had some nice get-togethers here. I was very happy and pleased about that. And just 3-4 weeks back, they organized a camp, a Vedanta camp, and so we had a nice 2-day camp here. And so feel free, if your travels take you to Coimbatore, you're welcome here. And I live in a I live in a small apartment here. It's a senior citizen home actually, and it's about 500 square feet apartment, and that's really all I need here. And so I typically, food is taken care of. I didn't want to again start a kitchen and things like that, so I was very happy to find this place. And so I basically go to the dining hall during food times and then come back and do my work. And so it works out very well for me. And I'm taking care of my parents. My father is 85, mother is 78. And so they live close by in a senior citizen home also. And so it's works out very well for us. And so with that, I want to close, but I want to also ask you if any of you have any final thoughts, final comments, final questions, final doubts, things like that. So what do you think, Nand Bhanwar? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
When you told us your mobile number, I tried to save it, and Truecaller says that you are a doctor. Is that right?
So I'm a PhD. So I'm not a medical doctor, but because I'm a
That's
PhD,
why.
they call me doctor also.
Oh.
So that's a doctor who does not know how to treat diseases. Okay.
Okay. So a doctor without the excess of medications.
A doctor who has to visit another doctor. Yes. Any other questions, comments?
I would like to get those books, and as I work hardly 6 hours a day, my shifts are like that. That 6 hours a day is more than enough at my job. So, and even at my job also, I get a lot of free time, so I can practice those books every time. Like I can spend almost 8 to 10 hours a day in learning
So
Sanskrit.
let me say this. I didn't say this before, but if any of you, like Charvi and like Sangeeta ji, there is nothing that stops you from watching the videos at your own time, and you are not limited to attending one class a week. That is just a schedule I mentioned. But Charvi and others, Sangeeta ji, often sometimes Charvi used to watch 4 videos, do 4 homeworks in 1 week. Okay, so she will do it in spurts, and so you're welcome to choose your pace. Minimum one class a week, but you're welcome to, if you have time, you're welcome to do it, and you're welcome to submit homeworks, and then you can join my other class where I'm just about to start the next level class, which is a live class. So if you do that, then you can catch up and you're welcome to join the other class. So I didn't say this, but now you're saying you have time in your hands. If it comes to that, you're welcome. Okay, all the best, Nand.
How can we join more classes?
Well, so the next, I'm teaching the next level class. After Sasyam, the next class is Lata, and so if you are welcome to join Lata if you have that background. So I will take some, we will assume that you know what we taught in Sasyam, and so send me a note and we can talk. Okay, Nand? Is it all right?
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jay Kumarji?
Yes.
Is age a drawback in learning Sanskrit? Because there is so much to memorize. So
I think age is a plus because you all have so much experience, you have so much exposure, and you've chanted mantras and shlokas and things like that. That a lot of things, those things help you gain the mastery. But the other thing I'm finding is learning Sanskrit improves our memory. Learning Sanskrit improves our memory also. So I used to think my memory was failing, but then when I started studying Sanskritam and Vedanta, my memory started improving. I don't know how it works, but it works. So I don't think that's a problem, Sangeeta ji. Yeah, they say
so many Shabdarupas and so many things, like
so
it will be hard for us.
So what we do is we try to identify the commonalities, and so by using that logic, we will know what the rupas are. So yeah, there is some memorization involved, but at the same time, by studying the language, you also that memorization becomes easy, and at some point it may not be needed also. But I don't want you to be discouraged by that, Sangeeta.
I want to add a point on Sangeeta ma'am's note that actually in our medical science we say that if we are trying to learn something new, it activates some other parts of our brains which were sleeping. So it's kind of activating your sleeping cells. So it helps you memorize more things, even more and more. So in my own experiences when I was learning English, I was good for nothing in English till my higher secondary. I started learning English when I came to the college. I started my graduation, and along with that, I started learning English. So I was having difficulty in learning English. So somebody suggested me that why don't you go for another language also along with English. So if you are focusing on English and on the side to side you are learning another language also, so it will activate your mind. So I started learning French also. So my focus was not on French. So I'm not that well in French, but I got very well in English, and I scored 8 bands in academic version of IELTS exam. It is International English Language Testing System. So out of 9 bands, I was able to score 8 bands, and there are 4 parts: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So in reading, I got 9 out of 9. In listening, I got 8.5 out of 9. And in both writing and speaking, I got 7 bands out of 9 bands.
Very nice,
So,
very nice, very
so
nice.
it definitely activates your mind.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks for that testimony, Nand. But yeah, I think so, Sangeeta ji, I hope that gives a pretty detailed medical answer to your question. Okay. All right. So we will stop now. I think we've had a good session here. If you have any further questions, you can send us an email. Sunita ji, do you have a question?
No. Thank you so much, Jacob.
Very nice. Very nice. So we'll be in touch. And any doubts, anything, do let me know. But we will shortly send you some more materials and where are the classes and things like that, and the books and so forth. So all in good time. So thanks to all of you for joining. Let's finish with a short prayer.
Jacomarji, I one thing I would ask that any other classes like Vedanta, Vera something classes, can we also join that?
Okay. I will. Yeah, I'm teaching some other classes too. So I will send you a list of classes that I'm teaching. So anything that interests you, you can look at. Okay.
Can we have to separate send you mail ID on WhatsApp? What is your number given to us?
Yeah. So I do have WhatsApp on that number, correct? And I also have a mail ID if you want. JAYAKUM. JAYAKUM. Jayakum 108. Art 108. Jayakum 108 at gmail.com. Jayakum 108 at gmail.com. So you can use that. And was there any other question, Gurudev?
No, sir.
Okay. So all the best to you, and let's all finish with a short prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. We will see you shortly.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.